let's continue with our class. I'm going to show you my screen again. Can you see it?
Sí, señora.
Okay, nice. I'm going to make a suggestion, so please, for all of you, try speaking English. Don't forget that. It's super important because I want you to practice. Let's go to this part that says second hour. So, in this second hour, we are going to begin with our grammar explanation. So, we are going to divide the hour in 3 moments. We are going to have like this video. We are going to watch the video. The video is the one that I made and I uploaded to YouTube in order to make it easier for you in case that you want to remember something. So, we are going to begin the class by watching the video. Then I am going to explain, I am going to give you the explanation of the topic, and at the end you are going to solve the practice time. Is going to be the practice time, so you are going to solve the 10 exercises that you have in this video, okay? So do you have any question about the organization of this hour? No? So babies, let's begin with the video. So this is the video. But first of all, let me check that you are in class. So please answer to me. Daniel, are you there?
Yes.
David?
Yeah.
Okay. Juanes? Okay, Juanes is there. Laura?
Yes.
Martin Chapman? Okay. Martin Grajales?
Hello.
Okay, Samuel?
Oli.
And Sophie?
Hola.
Okay, so you're ready. Oh, Juana. So Juana is there too. Babies, I am going to play the video, so please pay attention to it. Hi dears, today we'll talk about past simple and continuous, and we are going to do it in 3 easy steps. Grammar explanation, examples, and practice. Let's do it. Look at the sentences. I watched the movie last night and I was watching the movie last night. The first one is in past simple and the second one is in past continuous. Let's remember how to form past simple and continuous. In past simple, you have regular verbs that end with ed. You worked late last night. And irregular verbs with a unique past tense. I bought a new t-shirt yesterday. In past continuous, all the verbs use was or were plus the perfect ing. You were working late last night, or I was buying a t-shirt when she called me. Let me show you how to use it. You use past simple to talk about activities finished in the past. She played the piano when she was a child. I sang a song in the TV program. And you use past continuous to talk about activities started and finished in the past. I was playing the piano yesterday evening, or to talk about ongoing actions in the past interrupted by a side event. I was singing a song when the dog barked. Now, let's talk a little bit about the form. In affirmative, you can say, you live in Spain, or you were living in Spain. In negative, you can say, you live in Spain, or you were living in Spain. And in interrogative, did you live in Spain, or were you living in Spain? Let me show you some examples to make it easier. They were drinking coffee when I arrived. When they called, I was watching the football match. John was reading an English book while Mel was playing a video game. If you realize, you can use past simple and past continuous in the same sentence. Now, it's your turn. Let's practice. So, let it that way. Do you remember how to use past simple and past continuous, dears? What do you remember? It's super easy. Actually, it's super easy. The thing with this is that you need to know the past form of the verbs. We have been working a lot on that. So, for example, Samuel, what do you remember of past simple and past continuous, and also taking into account the video that we watch.
With the video?
Yeah, with the video and the things that you remember.
Ok. Espera, antes que diga cualquier cosa en inglés, no me acuerdo muy bien cuál era cuál. Creo que fue, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I remember one of these, it's with, espera, ED.
Yeah.
And the other is with, was?
Okay, was.
I think. And that's it.
Okay. Daniel, what do you remember of past simple and continuous?
There was the ¿cómo decirlo?
You can do it.
Past simple is with ed.
Yeah.
And the past continuous is was with ing.
ing, was or were plus ing. Nice. And finally, Sophie, do you remember something different of past simple and continuous?
No. When you said regular verbs, no?
Okay, we have regular and irregular verbs. So what are we going to do? I am going to show you. I am going to explain to you by showing this. So I am going to explain to you with the slides or with the presentation that you have in the video. But give me 1 second because it's closed. One second. I'm sorry. It's this one. So, babies, all of you are watching my screen? Yes, I hope so.
Yes.
Nice. So we are going to talk about past simple and continuous, and I am going to ask you a favor. Please take notes in your notebooks if you consider that is necessary. That is my suggestion. We are going to divide the explanation, as I was telling you, in grammar explanation. Then I am going to provide some examples, and you are going to provide some examples, and at the end we are going to do the practice time. So let's begin. You have 2 sentences. So, Martin Chapman, are you there?
Jesus.
Can you please help me reading the sentences, the ones that are in yellow?
Sorry. I watched the movie last night.
And the other one?
I was watching the movie last night.
If you realize, the first sentence is in past simple and the second one is in past continuous. How can you know that? Who can tell me?
For the ing and the was.
Yes, in the first one, if you realize the main verb, that is watch, is ending with ed. And in the second one, you are using the verb to be in past tense, that is was or were, and you are adding ing to the verb, to the main verb. Because don't forget that verb to be is so in love with ing. It doesn't matter if it's in present or in past. Okay? So let's continue. We are going to check how to form past simple and past continuous, yeah? So in the case of past simple, you have 2 main things. You have regular verb and irregular verbs. So, Martin Grajales, tell me, what is the difference between regular verbs and irregular verbs?
The regular verbs are like when you use the ed, those verbs that needs the ed, but the irregular are those that doesn't have ed. They have another way of saying it, like but in this case.
That's it. When you have regular verbs, those are the verbs that you just have to add ed and that's it. It is going to be fine. But with irregular verbs, you are going to have a unique past tense. And that means that you have to memorize and to learn and to practice a lot with the irregular verbs. So let's check the examples. He worked late last night, and in the case of an irregular verb, I bought a new t-shirt yesterday. What is the present form of the verb that I have there? What is the present form of both? The infinitive way. Who can tell me? Maybe... Which one? Can you repeat, please?
Buy.
Buy, that's it. What is the meaning of buy?
Comprar.
Comprar. So that's it. If you realize, buy change a lot. In the case of past continuous, all the verbs are going to be with was and or were, taking into account the subject, and then you are going to add ing to the main verb. That means that you don't have to change anything here. Aquí no tienen que cambiar nada. You just have to add was or were and ing. So, when do you use was and when do you use were, Juana? Juana, are you there? Okay, I don't have Juana. David, tell me, when do you use was and when do you use were?
Use was.
Do you have some subjects? Do you have some subjects? Tell me the subjects. When do you use was and when do you use were, taking into account the subjects? For example, here in the example you have he was working, so you know that you use was with he. Tell me the other subjects and the verb to be in past, please.
I don't know.
Okay, let's do it together. What do you use with he?
Can I say?
Okay, go ahead.
Was is for like only one, like he, she, it, I, you, and the were is for they and we, I guess.
More or less. The thing is that were is also used with you. So you are going to use was with he, she, it, that is the third person in English, but also, just in this case, with I. When you are talking about yourself, you are going to use was. Okay? So I, he, she, it. And you are going to use were with you, they, we. Okay? So David, what did you learn? When do you use was and when do you use were?
Use was in... Es que no sé cómo decirlo en inglés.
With the subjects.
No sé. Es que no sé cómo decirlo en inglés.
Okay, let's do it together. What do you want to say?
Sé cómo decirlo en español, pero no sé en inglés.
Okay, what do you want to say? And we are going to do it together in English. So tell me.
Okay. Se utiliza el was cuando no está hablando sobre el sujeto, sobre la esta.
So you use was when you are not talking about the subject, but actually is wrong. I want you to tell me, as Martin told you, the subjects. Please remember to me the subjects that you use with was and the subjects that you use with were. So I, what do you use with I? Was or were?
Was.
Okay, you?
Was.
No, where?
Was, were, okay, sí.
Okay, with you?
Where?
He?
Where?
No, he, she, it is the third person. So with the freaky ones, do you remember? The different
Yes.
ones, you are going to use was. So he, she, it is was. Okay?
Okay.
What do you use with they?
Was.
Where?
Okay.
And what do you use with we?
No sé qué es. Digo, where.
Where? So take this into account. The only times that you are going to use where is with you, they, we. Solo con esos tres sujetos utilizas where, okay? If you are able to remember those three subjects, you are going to know that the rest of the subjects are going to be with was.
Okay.
Okay, so Sophie, can you please help me reading the examples that you have in past continuous?
Okay. He was working late last night, and I was buying a new t-shirt when she called me.
Nice. So, babies, up to this point, tell me.
¿Me puedo hacer pantalla?
Why not?
Ya
¿Ya?
la puedo.
Okay.
Pero, no, ya. Sí.
So, up to this point, do you have any question about how to form past simple and past continuous? No questions? Okay. As these are sentences, you are going to have the structure that we usually have with sentences. Subject. So in the case of past simple, you are going to have subject. What is next?
Auxiliary?
No yet, because we are talking of affirmative, like the normal. Past simple.
Okay.
So tell me, baby, you have subject in the examples that you have here in affirmative. Subject plus
Plus verb in past if it's regular or irregular. Plus complement.
So yes, basically you just have to be careful in past simple with the verb. If you know if the verb is regular or irregular, you are going to be flying with past simple. And what about past continuous? Who can tell me? How is the structure in affirmative? Maybe Juanes can help me. Juan Esteban, are you there?
¿Qué, profe? ¿Qué?
So, baby, we are talking about the structure. Okay. I'll wait for you.
Perdón, profe.
Don't worry, it's okay. We are talking about the structure of the sentence in affirmative in past continuous. So, you have some examples in the screen, and you are going to tell me the structure, okay? So, you have subject plus...
¿Te puedo dar los ejemplos? ¿Te lo describo por el foro?
No, todavía no estamos con ejemplos, estamos mirando solo la estructura. Entonces vas a mirar los ejemplos que tienes en la pantalla y me vas a decir cómo es la estructura de la oración.
Okay.
So, tienes subject plus...
Past continuous, ¿no?
Yeah, past continuous.
Okay. Bueno, pues primero el verbo.
So, subject.
Primero el sujeto, después el verbo.
Stop. Try to speak in English. Try to do it with me in English. Let's do it together in English. So, subject plus.
The first is a subject.
Yes.
Second, verb.
What verb? Verb to be or the normal verb?
Verb. No. Sí, the normal verb.
Actually, first you have to put verb to be. El verbo to be en pasado, que es was o were, ¿vale? Entonces tienes subject, verb to be. ¿Qué sigue?
The next. Samuel, ya.
Okay, breathe. Don't worry, baby. Breathe.
Después was over y después el verbo, the verb.
The verb. With ing, okay. And at the end.
Okay. No, y ya no.
So the verb with ing and at the end the complement. Okay?
Okay.
That's it. So subject, verb to be in past, verb with ing and the complement. Thank you. Juanes. Questions up to this point, babies? Okay, let's continue. Then you have some uses. So let's talk about the uses of past simple. Juana, are you there? So Juana, can you please help me reading the use of past simple, the one that is in some kind of pink?
Activities finished in the past.
So you use past simple to talk about activities that finished in the past. So Juana, continue with the example, please. She
played the piano when she was a child.
A child. And the other one?
I sang a song in the TV program.
Yeah. So for example here, she played the piano when she was a child. It's something that happened in the past and you can do anything else. It's over. It's finished. What happened here? If you realize I have a was here, why do I have a was? ¿Por qué estoy usando un was ahí? Who can tell me?
Porque está hablando como de cuando era un niño, porque ya no es un niño, supongo.
Exactly. So please don't get confused. You are using was because it's the past form of verb to be. But if you realize you don't have ing or anything else, so that's just the past form. So she played the piano when she was a child and I sang a song in the TV program. And the main use is to talk about activities that finished in the past, that happened in the past and finished in the past, and you can do anything else. Questions about how to use past simple? No? Okay, let's continue. Now let's talk about past continuous. Daniel, can you please help me reading the first use, the one that is in pink?
What? El segundo?
The first one, activities.
Activities started and finished in the past.
So,
I was
stop.
painting the piano yesterday
Evening, okay. So you use past continuous to talk about activities started and finished in the past. What is the difference between this use and the use of present simple? That when you use present simple, you are talking about just activities that you know that happened in the past, but you don't know in specifically in which time of the past. But in the case of past continuous, you know when the action happened and when the action is over, okay? So we have the example, I was playing piano yesterday evening. So you have a specific time where you were playing the piano. Questions about this first use?
All the activities so in past continue, it's only in the past.
In the past, yes. Past continuous is in the past too, but you are going to have like a continuity in the past. Vas a tener un tiempo de duración en el pasado. Y tú sabes cuánto es ese tiempo de duración.
Pero ya se acabó.
But it's over, yes. Ya se acabó. So, in this case, I was playing the piano yesterday evening. If you realize, you know that it was yesterday. It could say two weeks ago. It could say like the previous month. Pero ya se acabó. ¿Por qué? Porque hoy no estás tocando el piano. Lo estabas tocando, ya no. Okay? Questions about the first use? Any other question? Okay, let's continue with the second use. Daniel, can you please continue reading?
Okay. Ongoing action and the past, interrupted by a sudden event.
By a sudden event.
I was singing a song when the dog barked.
So, ongoing actions in the past interrupt by a sudden event. Do you remember maybe when we were talking about the actions and the background of the stories the previous year? Estábamos hablando de cómo contar una historia. Y decíamos como que esto estaba pasando y llegó algo y tenga, lo interrumpió. Do you remember a bit of that? So that is an ongoing action in the past that is interrupted sudden by a sudden event. What is the meaning of sudden event? Who knows? Any of you? Or what can you imagine if I say sudden event?
Como un evento repentino, o sea, así.
That's it, exactly that. Repentino. Sudden is repentino. So, un evento repentino, un evento que llegó de la nada. So, I was singing a song when the dog barked. What is the meaning of barked? If it's related with a dog.
Bark is ladrar.
Ladrar, very good. So, yo estaba cantando una canción cuando el perro ladró. In this sentence, you are going to see in a good way the use of both verbal times like past simple and past continuous in one single sentence. Why? Because the first part, the action that you were doing, la acción que estabas haciendo, va a estar en simple or continuous.
Continuous.
Continuous. And the action that interrupt the thing that you were doing is going to be in simple. Entonces, lo que tú vienes haciendo, continuo, y lo que te interrumpió va a estar en simple. And it is always going to be like that. Questions about the second use of past continuous? No? Okay, let's continue. Now let's talk a bit about the form. So, you have affirmative, negative, and interrogative in both tenses. So, the S is going to be past simple and the C is going to be past continuous. Let's talk about the affirmative. So, Martin Chapman, can you please help me reading both structures in affirmative?
Yes.
Go ahead.
You lived in Spain? You were living in Spain.
Thank you. So, in past simple, you are going to use the form that we were talking about. Subject plus verb in past simple plus complement. And in the case of continuous, subject plus verb to be in past plus verb with ing plus complement. Ahí están las diferencias. Questions about the affirmative form? Okay, let's continue. Can you please, Sophie, can you please help me with the negative form?
Yeah. You. ¿Cómo es? ¿Veo la parte negativa?
The negative, yes, in simple and in continuous.
Okay. You didn't live in Spain, and you weren't living in Spain.
So here you have your beautiful auxiliary. In past simple, you have an auxiliary that is did. And you are going to use it to talk about negative sentences and when you are going to make questions. In the case of negative, you can say you didn't live in Spain or you did not live in Spain. And that is your auxiliary. What happened here? Do I have the verb in past? Yes or no? Do I have it in past?
No.
No, why not?
Because we use auxiliary verb.
Because you have an auxiliary. When you have the auxiliary, you don't have to do anything else with the verb because the auxiliary is going to tell you that is in past. Yeah? So, that is a happy news. Those are happy news for you because you know that the only way that you are going to be using the past form of the verbs is going to be in affirmative. But in the case of negative, as you have auxiliaries, you don't have to change the form of the verb. You just have to add the auxiliary that is did. In the case of continuous, how can you do it? To talk about a negative sentence, the part that you are going to write in negative is the verb to be. So, you weren't living in Spain or you were not living in Spain. In this case, the main verb is going to continue with ing because they are in love, don't forget that. but you are going to add the not or the negative form to the verb to be. So, Samu, can you give me another example in negative with past simple and continuous?
In negative?
In negative, yes. Give me one example with simple and one with continuous.
And continuous, okay. I didn't travel to Europe.
So that is in simple. I didn't travel to Europe. And in continuous?
The same.
Okay, if you want, you can do the same, but now in continuous.
I weren't traveling to Europe.
So the thing here is that with I, you are going to use was. Okay? So I.
Okay. Wasn't traveling to Europe.
That's it. I wasn't traveling to Europe. Nice job. Now, thank you. Okay. Laura, can you please help me reading the interrogative form?
Did you live in Spain? Were you living in Spain?
So what happened here? You just have to do the switch. You are going to put, in the case of simple, the first thing that is going to appear is your auxiliary, that in this case is did. So, did you live in Spain? Please don't forget three things. Number one, the auxiliary. Number two, that the verb is going to be in infinitive way, like normal because you have the auxiliary. And the third thing that you can forget is the question mark. Please, in interrogative, you can't forget the question mark, never, okay? In the case of continuous, the only thing that you are going to do is the switch. You are going to change the position of the verb to be and the subject. So the first thing that you are going to have is the verb to be. Were you living in Spain? Was she reading a book? Were they eating a hamburger? Yeah. So the first thing that you are going to put is the verb to be. Okay? So babies, what happened in questions? What happened if you find a WH question? What happened if, for example, you have who? Martin Grajales, tell me. What can you do?
What?
For example, if you have a question and you know that is or in simple or in continuous, you have to make it. But I am asking you to do it with a WH question. Like if I say do a question or give me an example by using who or what can you do?
Like with the audio.
How can you make that question? How can you form it?
Well, it will be like the word with W, the subject, the verb, and the complement.
So the first thing that you have to use when you have a WH question like what, who, where, is to put the WH question at the beginning. So let's check, for example, the last example of interrogative. Were you living in Spain? If I want to know with who that person was living, I can say, who were you living with in Spain? ¿Con quién estabas viviendo? Or where were you living in Spain? When were you living in Spain? Siempre que tengan una pregunta con WH, esa va a ir primero, antes que los auxiliares, antes que el verbo to be, siempre va primerito esa, y luego sí arrancan con la estructura normal de la oración. Okay? So, do you have any question of interrogative form?
No.
Okay. Let's continue. Here we have some examples. So, they were drinking coffee when I arrived. If you realize you have both verbal times, past simple and past continuous, in just one sentence. And the way to do it is when you have an action that is interrupted by another one. So, in this case, the action that is interrupted is the fact that you were drinking a coffee and someone arrived and maybe you couldn't finish. Daniel, help me please with the second example.
Okay, we called. I was watching the football match.
So when he called, I was watching the football match. Daniel, in this case, what is the action that is interrupted?
The action is watching.
Watching the football match. La acción que te interrumpieron era que alguien llamó y te interrumpió el partido que estabas viendo. So, the action that is interrupted is with continuous, and the action that is interrupt is with... Sorry, the action that is interrupt is going to be with continuous, and the action that interrupts is with simple. ¿Listo? Juana, please help me reading the last example. John was reading.
John was reading an English book while Mary was playing a video game.
Okay, so John was reading an English book while Mary was playing a video game. What happened here? Here you have two actions that are happening at the same time. If you realize, the linking word in this case is not when, but while. Cuando tú tienes dos acciones que están ocurriendo al mismo tiempo, que ocurrieron al mismo tiempo en el pasado, no vas a utilizar when sino while. What is the meaning of when and what is the meaning of while? Samuel.
What? Sorry.
What is the meaning of when and what is the meaning of while?
When is when I... Es que no sé cómo explicarlo bien. When and what?
When and while.
Why?
Taking into account these examples, what can you say? What is when and what is while?
1 second. Según lo que leo, te lo puedo decir en español, es que no sé bien cómo decirlo en inglés, ya intenté en mi mente, pero no,
okay.
No me llega ni
Tell me, go ahead.
O sea, es como, pues, o sea, viendo el ejemplo de ahí, o sea, estábamos tomando café cuando él llegó, o sea, como o sea, estaba la acción y después como para poner el interruptor, uno pone el when, ¿no? Es como
el when, entonces el when es el interruptor, el que te muestra que se interrumpe la acción, bien, el cuándo. Yo estaba haciendo esto cuando esto pasó. And what happened with while?
Why? Acá está why. John was reading this English book while Mary was playing a video game. Es como, en vez de una interrupción, es como, no sé bien cómo explicar, no sé si como un conector de dos acciones.
It's something like that. It's like a connector. Es como para decir mientras. Yo estaba leyendo un libro de inglés mientras ella estaba jugando un videojuego. Eso es lo que te va a mostrar, es que tienes dos acciones que ocurriendo simultáneamente en el pasado. ¿Vale? So, be careful with the use of when and while. When you have both verbal times, past simple and past continuous, and while when you have one verbal time that is past continuous. So, babies, let's stop here, and we are going to continue with the explanation and with the practice in the last hour of class, okay? If you have any question, just keep it in mind and let me know.